Welcome to SVG-TV's news from Monday, January 12th, 2026. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. An numerical service was held today at the St. George's Anglican Cathedral as part of the ceremonial proceedings to mark the opening of the 2026 law term of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, the ECSC. The observance was held under the theme, the ECSC Justice That Endures, anchored in independence, strengthened through trust. The church service was followed by a formal procession of the judges and attorneys at the High Court of Justice, where an inspection of the Guard of Honor took place. A special sitting of the High Court convened shortly thereafter at the Old Parliament building on Halifax Street, officially ushering in the new law year. Delivering the sermon at the numerical service, Canon Francis reflected on the shared responsibility of all people to work for unity, justice, and peace, while emphasizing that members of the judiciary and the legal profession carry heightened responsibility as stewards of justice. He noted that their decisions and conduct have a profound impact on society and must therefore be guided by integrity, fairness, and moral courage.
Judges, lawyers, police officers, you have a special role. All are called, but as members of such professions, you have a special role. Friends, a quick look at the world in which we live reveals that nations are against nations. Some family units are fractured. We can come up with a short list. Russia versus Ukraine, the conflict between Israel and Palestine, civil war in Syria, Sudan, Afghanistan, and closer to home, the gang crisis in Haiti, and the recent political instability created by the United States of America in Venezuela. These forms of brokenness stand in contrast to the vision God has for His creation. God calls His people to unity. Jesus prayed that His disciples may be united. He prayed that His disciples would be in that state and experience that state of unity whereby God the Son and God the Father and God the Holy Spirit are united in the Godhead. The various forms of brokenness in the world are made manifest because of lawlessness. Some individuals and institutions who are mandated to pursue and maintain law and order are neglecting their responsibility. Even when politicians campaign and say, I am running for office and I am promising to be the candidate of law and order, they go against their promise.
Canon Francis also pointed to growing concerns about the effectiveness of international bodies such as the International Criminal Court and the United Nations, which he said appear increasingly constrained in addressing global conflicts and injustices. Against this backdrop, he underscored the relevance and timeliness of the law term's theme, stressing the need for institutions and individuals to work collaboratively to uphold justice, unity, and peace at the national and regional levels.
Our human existence can be related to the solo or an orchestra dynamic, which is basically an interplay between the individual and the collective. The use of one instrument by a soloist to play a particular song can be a pleasant sound in the air. But when an orchestra with many other musical instruments make a musical presentation of the same song, seeking musical harmony, the sound is melodious. The solo represents the unique human identity and the individual journey or a particular profession, while the orchestra embodies the shared human experience, community, and social structure. Simply put, the level of achievement and success is always greater from working together.
Further expanding on the concept of unity, Canon Francis explained that from a spiritual perspective, unity reflects God's desire for harmony and a shared purpose among members of the human family. He encouraged legal practitioners to see their work not merely as a profession, but as a vocation of service to the common good.
Friends, this is a gift from God, reflecting the unity of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and ultimately bringing all things under Christ. Our shared purpose is to glorify God by reflecting His character and spreading His gospel. Not the individual's gospel, but God's gospel. It is about being united in mindset, in ministry and mission, by using our spiritual and professional gifts to serve one another, encourage one another, bearing one another's burdens, praying for each other. We are bringing to reality this concept of unity, accepting and utilizing our diversity in working towards achieving unity with all of creation in Christ Jesus. Friends, this unity is not uniformity, but about diverse individuals working together in harmony for the betterment of humanity. It's a call for us to work with our differences through faith in God towards oneness. In essence, biblical unity is a profound spiritual reality achieved through Christ, demanding active cultivation through love, humility, shared commitment to His truth, serving as a powerful witness to the world.
Unlike the previous 4 years, this year's opening of the law term featured simultaneous sit-ins across all 9 member states and territories of the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, OECS. Acting Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Margaret Price Finley, delivered the featured address, which was streamed live from Dominica to the other jurisdictions. The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court was established in 1967 by the West Indies Associated States Supreme Court, Order Number 223 of 1967. It serves as a superior court of record for the OECS with unlimited jurisdiction in each member state. The ECSC serves 6 independent states: Antigua and Barbuda, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as 3 British overseas territories: Anguilla, the British Virgin Islands, and Montserrat. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force has launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding a motor vehicle collision that occurred today, Monday, January 12, 2026, at approximately 8:30 a.m. along the Lomans Bay Public Road, which claimed the life of Stephen Bulls, 58-year-old resident of Barrouallie. The SVG Police Force says preliminary reports indicate that a motor vehicle owned by a private electrical company was traveling towards Lomans Bay, experienced mechanical issues, and crashed into a parked crane. Additionally, 6 male co-workers between the ages of 21 and 54 years old were seriously injured as a result and taken to the Milton Cater Memorial Hospital, where they are receiving treatment. A post-mortem examination is expected to be conducted on the deceased to ascertain the exact cause of death. The RSVG Police Force extends condolences to the family and friends of the deceased during this difficult time and urges all motorists to drive with due care and attention and show courtesy to all road users. Today marks 11 years since the tragic rock gutter accident of January 12, 2015, in which 7 school children from Fancy in the North Windward area lost their lives while on their way to school. A moment that remains one of the most painful chapters in the nation's history. The tragedy occurred when a bus transporting students veered off the road at Rock Gutter and plunged into the sea. 5 of the children were recovered from the seawater, while the bodies of 2 of the students were never found. The accident sent shockwaves across the country, prompting an outpouring of grief and solidarity from families, schools, churches, and communities. Vigils, memorial services, and moments of silence were held in remembrance of the young lives lost, whose absence continues to be deeply felt by loved ones and the wider society. In the years since the tragedy, the Rock Gutter 7 have become a solemn symbol of the importance of road safety, particularly in relation to transportation of school children. The incident sparked national conversations and policy decisions surrounding road infrastructure, vehicle safety standards, and emergency response preparedness. As the nation pauses to remember today, families of the victims, educators, and community members reflect not only on the sorrow of loss, but also on the enduring legacy of the children whose lives were cut short. Tributes have been paid through prayers, messages of remembrance, and calls to ensure that such a tragedy never is repeated. 11 years on, the memory of Rock Gutter 7 remains etched into the national conscience, a reminder of lives lost too soon. In other news, the Grenadine island of Canon and Barrouallie are the main islands which will be hosting 9 days of sailing week from March 29th to April 6th, 2026, with activities officially launched today at Plantation House, Barrouallie. The event, which includes the highly anticipated Canon Cup and Barrouallie Easter Regatta, marks the start of preparations for one of the major Easter celebrations in SVG. Chief Executive Officer of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority, Annette Mark, stated that while there will be a sailing event from Canon to Barrouallie, the majority of the activities will take place on Barrouallie itself. She also highlighted that an international component has been planned, which is expected to attract sailors and visitors from across the Caribbean and beyond, boosting the island's tourism profile.
Come down on the 6th of April on the entire sailing week. This carefully created mix ensures that the SVG Sailing Week remains inclusive, honoring our heritage, supporting youth, and attracting serious sailors and enthusiasts alike. As you may realize, a defining feature of the SVG Sailing Week is the deliberate integration of youth sailing and traditional boats, alongside with yacht racing. By doing so, we are investing in the future of the sport while preserving the traditions that define our maritime identity, junior regattas, youth recognition, and traditional double-ender races. Ensure that SVG Sailing Week remains authentically Vincentian. Looking ahead, I am pleased to share that work is actively on the way to develop a feeder race to Antigua and Barbuda for participation in the Antigua and Barbuda Sailing Week, which takes place towards the end of April, which will further integrate the SVG Sailing Week into the regional sailing circuit. This initiative is expected to strengthen regional participation, increase yacht arrivals, position St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a natural stop and highlight on the Caribbean sailing calendar.
Speaking at the launch, Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday, who grew up on Beckway and has fond memories of the island's regattas, reflected on the nostalgia of past events. He expressed the desire to see those days revived and improved, emphasizing that Beckway has a significant potential to develop as a premier sailing destination. The Prime Minister noted, however, that achieving this vision would require collaboration from all stakeholders, including the government, private sector, and local community.
With us. The SVG Sailing Week, the initiative is intended to grow on what we have started, what we have here. We always say a started thing, the low-hanging fruit. In a sense, the low-hanging fruit is the regatta that was here. There's regatta in Canawan and in Miro and so forth. And then you build to strengthen it, to make it more of a national event rather than simply a local event. This is something that we can do, but it takes vision, it takes planning, it takes sponsorship. Nothing happens without money. And it takes the team of volunteers that is necessary to carry it forward. Without that, we are going to be struggling uphill.
Minister of Tourism Dr. Kishore Shallow echoed these sentiments, stating that Sailing Week promises to be an important tourism product that can further develop to attract regional and international visitors. He emphasized the importance of consistent planning, investment, and community participation in ensuring the event's long-term success.
Event that perfectly captures who we are as a nation: adventurous, welcoming, world-class, and some may even say that we are always ready for a splash in the ocean. And the truth is, when you think of the combination, wind, water, and a competition, and of course, the lime, a good lime and vibes, and then you throw in the sunshine, it doesn't get better. It is very difficult to beat this initiative. And so the SVG Sailing Week is an exceptional sporting event with tremendous potential and promise. More than the traffic and the numbers that we anticipate we are going to generate, it is a celebration of our maritime heritage, of course, as someone said that earlier, our natural beauty, and our growing reputation as one of the most desirable sailing destinations in the Caribbean and increasingly in the world.
A number of sponsors have already pledged their support for the Easter weekend activities, which organizers say will be bigger and better than last year. Among them, Republic Bank donated $15,000 towards the event, demonstrating strong private sector confidence in Beckway's potential as a top tourist destination. Sailing Week is expected to feature daily races, cultural events, entertainment, and family-friendly activities, providing both residents and visitors with a vibrant showcase of Beckway's maritime heritage and community spirits. More details on Sailing Week 2026 will be shared in a subsequent newscast. A call for increased youth involvement in serving God and strengthening their spiritual foundation was made yesterday by Minister of Social Welfare and Community Empowerment, Disaster Management and National Heritage, Shavan John, during a brief remarks delivered at the National Youth Legacy Rally held at Lomans Hill New Testament Church of God. Minister John told the gathering that in her dual role as Minister of Government and a committed believer, she considers it her responsibility to help reinforce the importance of a strong biblical upbringing among young people. She expressed concern about what she described as a noticeable decline in youth participation in church activities and service to God, noting that this trend has implications not only for the church but for society as a whole.
Being the Minister of Ecclesiastical Affairs, I know it is my responsibility to walk with the youth, alongside the youth, in terms of their biblical upbringing. What we need in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and more youths in service for the Lord. And when I was given the invitation by Bishop Davis, I said I must be here. I can just give you my upbringing as a little girl in the fundamental Baptist churches. And it was good to see crowds like this because that is how we grew up. And I think we are losing it in our society today. Many of our young people stay at home while our parents come to church. If we as parents have to be outstanding parents, we must pull them with us. And as a church, passing that baton is very important. It is important because the baton represents responsibility. It does not represent retirement. It represents responsibility. It means that our young people have to step up.
Minister John said the church has historically played a vital role in nurturing young people, providing guidance, discipline, and a sense of purpose, and warned that the absence of these influences can leave youths vulnerable to negative social pressures. She encouraged young people to reconnect with their faith and to see service to God as a foundation for personal growth and responsible citizenship. The minister stressed that spiritual guidance is critical in shaping discipline, values, and moral character, particularly at a time when many young people are confronted by challenges, distractions, and influences that can lead them astray. She further highlighted the need for youths to prepare themselves for the future by developing a pride in who they are, confidence in their faith, and a sense of responsibility to their communities.
And we read like people in the Bible where Moses passes the baton on to Joshua. And they carried it well. And young people, I'm charging you, carry the baton of faith with you wherever you go. The baton must be passed intentionally. And this is the responsibility of the church. The church passes the baton on through teaching, through prayer, through mentoring. And I'm sure today, as I saw within the program, that is where your bishops and your elders will carry you along. And I say thank you. Youths, you are the next runner, and you must be ready for the race. You have to look at the person who is passing that baton on to you, ready to take it so that you can carry it to the finish line. Or you can carry it on to the next person who is there. And you must do it with pride, with that responsibility, knowing that you are going to finish the race. Because you will only end the race when you take that baton. You can't run the race without the baton. So take that baton, carry it with the grace of Almighty God. Know that you are standing in the gap. Know that you are charged with that responsibility and that many will look up to you.
According to Minister John, faith-based principles can help young people to make sound decisions as they pursue education, careers, and leadership opportunities. In concluding, she urged churches, families, and community leaders to work collaboratively in mentoring and supporting young people. She emphasized that a collective approach is necessary to ensure youths are spiritually grounded and morally equipped to become positive, productive contributors to national development. As Barrouallie Secondary School continues its celebration of its 55th anniversary, school officials and community members are being called to reflect on the honor of the people who played a pivotal role in developing the institution. At the school's anniversary Thanksgiving service held under the theme Honoring Heritage, Building the Future, Minister of Education Philip Jackson addressed the gathering, highlighting the importance of remembering those who 55 years ago laid the foundation for transforming the lives of students in Barrouallie and surrounding communities. He encouraged current students and the staff to build on that legacy by continuing to pursue excellence in education and personal development.
Us to identify in our communities those unsung heroes and celebrate their contribution, because the story of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is not just about the luminaries and the stars, it's also about the humble men and women who have given tremendous service to building a nation. And sometimes we make the mistake of focusing on, the stars, the politicians. But I used to say, and I still say, I want a St. Vincent and the Grenadines where the people must increase and the politicians decrease. Yes. Just like John the Baptist, understanding his role as a forerunner of Jesus Christ, said to his disciples, I must decrease so that Christ can increase. And the time has come for the people. Now I'm a politician, but I'm only as important as the people are expanding and growing into the roles of nation building. So I want a Barrouallie, a South Leeward, a Central Leeward, a Maracay, a St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where the people, what did I say? Yeah, I'm not going to preach. The people must increase.
Minister Jackson also emphasized the need for a strong partnership between the home, school, and community, describing it as a triangular relationship essential for nurturing well-rounded, responsible young people who can contribute meaningfully to society.
The educational enterprise has to be a strong relationship between these three important elements. The famous African saying, it takes a village to raise a child, is true, but now is even more critical. So I'm encouraging the school, first of all, do your research, let the students find out where are the community resources, where are the institutions and organizations and clubs and associations in the community. The churches included. Find out where the community resources are. And as a school, you have to plan ways of making sure that the community is involved in what you do. They can see what you're doing. You have I didn't get a chance to check, but I'm sure you have a Facebook page, right? Yes, sir. Is it active? Yes. When was the last post on it? Last night. Good. Yeah, you have to bring the community.
Attending the service was Member of Parliament for the constituency, Conroy Huggins, who proudly described himself as a product of Barrouallie Secondary School. He reflected on the values instilled by the teachers of his generation and credited them for helping to shape the principles and character that guide his life today.
Barrouallie Secondary School at Form 2. And I never looked back. I never looked back. I am extremely proud of the Barrouallie Secondary School. Of Barrouallie, the Barrouallie community, this church, my home church. I began attending this church since I was forever, a child. But my years at Barrouallie Secondary School formed me, and the influence and guidance of Mrs. Scott, Mr. Pear, that's Mr. Pear sitting in front of us here, Dallo, and all the other teachers at that time, they formed us. And At that period, no nonsense took place in schools.
The service included tributes to former principals, teachers, and community members who contributed to the growth and development of the school. Students also participated, showcasing performances that highlighted both the school's rich heritage and its vision for the future. The 55th anniversary celebrations will continue with a series of events, including alumni gatherings, sports activities, and cultural presentations, all aimed at reinforcing the school's enduring role in the community. Junior Chamber International (JCI) will continue its flagship project in 2026, according to President of JCI Dominic Horn during a radio interview with NBD Radio today. Horn said that the organization's health fair remains one of its key initiatives and will be further expanded through strategic partnership aimed at reaching a wider cross-section of the population. He explained that collaboration with health professionals, private sector entities, and community groups will help to enhance the scope, impact, and accessibility of the program.
In terms of plans that we have for 2026, we do plan to continue some of our flagship projects. For example, the health fair that we tend to have, and we had it not last year, in 2024, which was done in Fancy. We do also want to partner with more young persons across St. Vincent. So we're going to target with the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. And we do hope to also have a few donations as well as schedule some few fundraisers throughout the year.
Horn noted that the health fair is designed to promote early detection and preventative health care, particularly for individuals who may not routinely access medical services. Horn also provided a brief overview of some of the services offered at the health fair, including blood pressure checks, blood and glucose testing, and other basic health screenings.
The health fair usually we usually try to partner with various organizations, with the Ministry of Health as well, and we try to offer some services. Last year, what we offered free dental services as well as eye testing. We would have also offered vouchers right. For, I believe it was pap smears.
Okay.
And we usually also do blood tests as well. Mainly for, I'm not too good with the medical terminology, but it was for the sugar test.
The JCI president reaffirmed the organization's commitment to community development, stating that the continuation and strengthening of such initiatives will remain a top priority for the organization in the year ahead. The St. Vincent and Grenadines Teachers Union (SVG-TU) is inviting interested members to submit completed nomination documents for the union's upcoming general elections by the close of business on Friday, 23rd January 2026. The executive positions to be contested during the elections, which will be held on Tuesday, 24th February and Wednesday, 25th February 2026, are President, First Vice President, Second Vice President, General Secretary, Assistant General Secretary, the Treasurer, Public Relations Officer, committee members, 2 positions. The SVG-TU said that persons elected at these polls will serve the union's executive for 2026 to 2028 biennium and will be officially installed at the union's 24th biannual convention scheduled for April 2026. The union also noted that nomination forms have been circulated to all educational institutions across the state and are additionally available at the SVG-TU's office at Mackey's Hill.